Okay, so you got some gingival clearance. Now let's take a look and see what you did to the adjacent tooth, though. Let's see if we can figure out how that happened, right? So when you hit the adjacent tooth, you had the burr at this angle here.
Okay.
So see that angle?
Yeah.
And you undercut the axial at the same angle.
Oh.
And you left a lot of excess at the gingival margin, because if you removed it, you'd hit the adjacent tooth even more. So again, you're trying to look this way. That's what I call looking down the axis.
Yeah.
And nobody can do it. Nobody in the history of civilization has ever been able to do that. Okay? So we're going to, and let's see, will this go any further? Yeah, a little bit. So we're going to look this way, parallel to the contact, downward at a 45-degree angle. That's how we do this. Then we can get rid of all this excess over here. You got the corner, but you didn't get rid of all the excess. Steps 5, 6, and 7 are get rid of the excess in the facial wall, get rid of the excess on the lingual wall. You see how, I can see how close I am to the adjacent tooth, right? I can see exactly where I am. Then I can get rid of the excess along the gingival floor at the same time. I see exactly how close I am to the adjacent tooth. I can also see how deep I am axially. I can see the vertical angulation, mesial distally. And that's how we get this thing under control. Now we have a defined internal line angle. Now you use the hand instruments. Remember, you can't learn how to use the hand instruments until you finish a prep. If you don't finish a prep, then you can't learn how to do the hand instruments, right? Okay, so now we're getting flatter wall. Still got some excess to the gingival part of that wall. So I can get rid of that. Anyway, use the hand instrument. Try to sharpen the internal line angle. Angle the gingival floor like we know we have to.
Didn't that make it more obtuse? Like,
the angle of the facial?
yeah.
It's pretty close to 90. I didn't change anything on the occlusal half. I just made the gingival half match the occlusal half.
Okay.
Same thing on the lingual side. I left the occlusal part alone. Again, the occlusal part, if you do it well, it guides you when you go gingivally. But you do have to look in the right direction. Now over here, you're still leaning your burr distally, and you're letting the pulpal floor rise. See, you have no wall height here. Remember how I changed it over here and I went deeper pulpally? So you have virtually no wall height here. So go back and look this way when you're doing it so that you can see where you are. So I'm looking along the central groove. You see what you did? See the angle?
Yeah.
You had it leaning totally toward the lingual. That's because you were looking from the facial. So again, whenever anybody tries to do the isthmus looking from the facial, they always lean the burr lingually. And this results in a ton of trouble. So, and you know, don't even think about getting close to the proximal surface until you finish getting right to the middle of the contact. The middle of the contact's right here.
Yeah.
So once you do the isthmus, cut directly to there.
Okay.
Don't try to find your facial lingual margins. But when you do the isthmus, look this way. So you know where you are, you know the vertical angle, you know how wide it is, you know everything, you see everything you need to. And then you're getting close to the marginal ridge, look this way, so you know how close you are to the marginal ridge. And you know you have the burr leaning toward the marginal ridge, and you know how tall the wall is. See, again, all those things we have to see, and so the only thing I'm advising you is just make sure you do. Okay? That sounds pretty simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like it's getting difficult for me to see it from the other side, how you are
you
saying.
can't, the
like,
way,
I'm not
yeah.
used to it, so I have to make myself used.
Well, yeah, so get unused to looking this way.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're looking this way and doing the isthmus,
Yeah.
you see what happens. You lean the burr totally toward the lingual.
Yeah.
So it gets you in trouble every time, and it always will. It's never going to be any better until you try to, looking this way, that's not too difficult. Looking along the central groove and looking along the marginal ridge over here.
I feel if I look that way, I kind of move and it might destroy the shape, so it makes it even more wider.
The shape of the dovetail?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you look this way, so you know that you're making it the right shape while you're doing it.
Oh, okay.
You know it's in the right position, you know you have the right angle, you know you have the right wall height.
Yeah.
You see all kinds of things you need to see if you're looking this way. If you're looking some other direction, when you're doing the dovetail, then you're in real trouble. Like trying to look down the axis, then it's going to rise. You can lean the burr distally, the pulp floor is going to get really shallow toward the mesial marginal ridge. Now, So your isthmus should have been about right here. Now from there, cut to the middle of the contact way out here. Now you have some damage on the adjacent tooth. I understand why that is.
Yeah.
Normally we're going to make sure that we never do a class 2 prep if there's no contact or damage on either tooth.
Yeah.
But anyway, cut to the middle of the contact right here. Then find your margin, come in 90. Then find your lingual margin about right here.
Okay.
Now, but you can't come in 90 anymore, can you? Because there's no tooth structure left there anymore. In order for you to get a 90-degree angle lingual, you have to bring your lingual margin way over here and then come in 90 degrees. Because you're so far overextended because you were looking the wrong way. But, you know, what we'll probably do is just put your margin about here, get a nice little straight wall coming at 90, and then we'll put the box about there to there. Okay? Give it a try. But yeah, it just takes a while to learn what you have to see. Okay, so you're starting over here, but you're really super shallow right now.
Yeah, just...
Don't do that. The problem with being shallow is that the walls are really short, and then if you slip a little bit, it cuts right through.
Right, yeah.
If you get deeper from the beginning, then the walls are taller, and then if you slip a little bit and hit a wall, the burr stops instead of cutting too far.
Okay.
So a shallow prep is really, really dangerous.
Okay.
So we would start by making a hole much deeper here. You know, maybe a full millimeter, and then cut along the central groove, then look over here and cut along the marginal ridge. But yeah, you haven't overextended yet, but it's inevitable when it's this shallow. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so this guy, alright, so you don't have the gingival clearance yet, huh?
Okay.
See over there, your gingival clearance is about 0.1.
Okay.
And if I look down here, your facial wall, I can see the facial wall really easily, huh? So that's a problem. So your facial lingual walls actually diverge occlusally. So you don't want that to happen. But when you're leaning your burr facially on the facial side, if you look this way, that's the right direction to look when you're doing it. See on the monitor? This is the right direction to look when you're doing it, but you have to check first to make sure you have the burr vertical. Then look this way. Now, when the burr is leaning facially, the pulpal floor of the gingival floor is not going to be horizontal. It's going to rise toward the lingual. So if the burr leans facially, the gingival floor gets shallower toward the lingual. That's why you don't have enough gingival clearance on the lingual. You also don't have enough lingual clearance. So if I were to put the burr more vertical again, like this, I'd have to start with your margin, come in 90 degrees, find the new corner right here, and then get rid of the excess. So to make it more vertical, it's going to be more overextended facially at the gingival part of the wall. But it's also going to be more horizontal in the gingival floor. But we need to get more lingual clearance, so let's move the lingual margin lingually. And again, make sure you check that the burr is vertical, and then put the lingual margin wherever you want it. Then cut straight in. And then we'll find the corner of the box about right here. And then get rid of the excess along that wall. Okay, so that's where the corner should have been, about like there. Now your pulpal floor is a little more horizontal, but you still don't have enough gingival clearance. So what do? We go gingivally again, 7 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit more here, a little bit deeper axially. So now, get rid of the excess along this wall here, and then get rid of the excess along the facial, lingual, and gingival. And you'll probably have a little more gingival clearance. Again, you're doing some damage on the adjacent tooth because you're trying to look a little bit vertically, and just don't even think about that. Just look this way all the time when you're working in the box, and it'll be a lot safer. But check first to make sure your burr is vertical, not leaning facially. Okay? So keep working on that. So finish that one up. Use the hand instrument so you know you're done. Then you can continue over here, but get deeper right from the start.
Okay.
Okay? Cool.
Thank you.
Sure. Oops.
Oh,
That's okay.
that's right behind you.
Yeah. I know.
Can I lift it up, maybe?
I'm going to see if I can move it to the other side. I should be able to do that, but I'll take care of it.
Oh. Forgot to use that.
You lost your head. Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
There is this.
I don't understand the word this and that.
Okay.
Can you use words and describe it?
Undermine enamel there and
Where? Where's there?
on the facial side.
Okay, so yeah, the facial proximal wall has undermined enamel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And
So
I wanted to reduce that with the hand instrument.
yeah,
Can I do that?
there may be. It'd be easier if you use the burr a little bit more first.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you can feel fairly confident about it. Okay, so now you've got a 245 burr in here instead of the 55 burr. Yeah. So let's not use the 245 at this point. That's a little bit more challenging. We have it there because a lot of people use that, but we hopefully don't have to. So now you don't have a flat wall all the way. You have a reasonable exit angle up here. When you go gingerly, make the corner and then just use the end of the burr and match the gingival part of the wall to the occlusal part of the wall. And now there's very little to trim with the hand instrument. Just the smallest little hook. That's all you should really need to trim with the hand instrument. So you have a little hook on the lingual side, which would be pretty easy to fix too. So again, when you have the occlusal part like this, find the corner and then match the gingival to the occlusal, all the way down to the gingival floor and all the way to the margin. Okay, now we got rid of that excess over there. Now your axial should have been about right here and about right there. But your gingival clearance is pretty good. Again, if you look this direction, you'll always control the axial wall position and the relationship to the adjacent tooth. But anyway, just flatten it out a little bit. Now you're ready to use the hand instruments and finish it up. Okay, so still a little shallow at the marginal ridge, so go a little deeper pulpally.
Okay.
You're in big trouble over here, aren't you?
I didn't do anything there.
Well,
I mean-
somebody did. Who did this?
No, it's,
So you got a lingual margin here, and that's a little bit overextended, but the problem is it's not 90 degrees, it's acute. So you're going to have to move the margin all the way out here in order to fix it.
and I'll be overextended.
Now, the thing you forgot to do, when you did your original isthmus, you forgot, once we finish the isthmus, once we're happy with the isthmus and the dovetail and the wall height and the position and the angle, make sure you lean the burr toward the marginal ridge when you're working near that margin. Once you're finished with the occlusal, where do we go? We cut to the middle of the contact. From there, cut straight out to the middle of the contact, which is way out over here. So this is the middle of the contact. From there, you find your lingual margin and you come in 90 degrees and then you join the isthmus.
Okay.
Okay? So we cut to the middle of the contact. That's what keeps us safe. Then you nip out facially, find your facial margin. Go a little bit farther, then cut your 90-degree angle in, get the length, then make the curve. The lingual, you're already way too far. You just made the isthmus, and you just followed the isthmus into the proximal area, and that's what got you in trouble. Cut to the middle of the contact, then you're safe. So over here, to fix the lingual side, we have to extend way out here to get a 90-degree exit angle again. Okay? That's what we need to be doing. So whenever we have an acute exit angle, we have to overextend in order to fix it. So that big chunk I had to remove of unsupported enamel. Okay, so at the same pupil level, move the whole margin out facially. Make sure you know you're going to have enough clearance out there. Then come in 90 degrees all the way to here. Then make a smooth curve there. Then when you go to find your axial wall, you make it perpendicular to both of those walls and you'll be okay. The only residual thing is you're way overextended lingually. Okay, but we don't want to have any other errors. See this little shiny line right here? This little shiny white line? That's actually part of the original central groove.
So I missed.
Yeah, you're a little bit off in terms of the central groove, at least in that area. But anyway, it's going to go away when you do your facial wall here, and then you make the curve down here. That'll go away. And it needs to, so that you can make the axial facial internal line angle, right? All right, so coming along, keep working on it. So see if you can finish this one up with hand instruments. Put some retentive grooves in, angle the gingival floor, and then you can finish up on the upper left.
Okay.
Okay.
I want some 330 birds.
Okay, that's right. You didn't get the kit, so I'll get you a 5-pack. So right down on there, put a number 1 next to where it says 330 burrs, and then I'll get you a 5-pack. Mm-hmm.
With
Okay, gingival clearance. Yeah, you got more gingival clearance now.
Okay.
But you need to get rid of the excess, especially at the facial wall.
Okay.
There's kind of a hook at the gingival part of the facial wall. Use your burr, smooth that out, get a nice flat wall. Smooth the gingival floor, get it nice and flat down there too.
Okay.
Then you'll be able to use the hand instruments to finish it.
Okay.
Okay? All right, cool. I think I'm going to move this way over here.